Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user Agency Academic 9208. Am I the a-hole for exposing my husband's affair with his girl best friend at a family barbecue after his father told me to get over it? I, 29 female, have been married to my husband, 31 male, for 5 years. We've had a good relationship overall, but there's always been one issue. His girl best friend, Megan, 30 female. She's been in his life since childhood, and while I've always felt a bit uneasy about their closeness, I trusted my husband and tried to be cool with it. Megan is always around. She's at our house constantly, they text all the time, and she even comes on family vacations with us. Every time I brought up how their friendship made me uncomfortable, my husband would brush it off, saying she's practically a sister and that I was overreacting. To make matters more complicated, my mother-in-law, 58 female, is amazing. She's always had my back and has told me multiple times that if Megan made me uncomfortable, I should talk to my husband about setting boundaries. On the other hand, my father-in-law, 60 male, has a very different attitude. He adores Megan and has always said that she's part of the family and that I just need to deal with it. He thinks my discomfort with their friendship is just jealousy. Fast forward to 2 months ago. My husband started acting distant, coming home late, being secretive with his phone, and just off. I had a gut feeling something was wrong, so one night I went through his phone while he was in the shower. That's when I found out. He and Megan have been having an affair for months. I was crushed. I confronted him and he admitted everything. He swore it was a mistake, said he loved me and begged me not to leave him. I didn't know what to do, so I stayed quiet for a bit, trying to process everything. A couple of weeks later, my in-laws hosted a big family barbecue. I was still reeling from the affair, but my husband convinced me to come, saying we needed to keep up appearances while we worked things out. I went, but I was a wrecking side, especially knowing Megan would be there. Sure enough, Megan showed up like nothing had happened, acting all friendly with everyone, including me. I was boiling inside, but I kept it together. Then, during dinner, my father-in-law made some offhand comments about how Megan would always be a part of the family and that I needed to get over my insecurities. He said this in front of everyone. That was my breaking point. I stood up, looked straight at him and said, "You know what? I would get over it if she wasn't sleeping with my husband." The entire table went silent. Megan's face turned white and my husband tried to calm me down, but I wasn't having it. I told everyone exactly what had been going on, the sneaking around, the lies, the betrayal. My mother-in-law was furious, but not at me. She laid into my husband and Megan, saying they destroyed our marriage and disrespected me. My father-in-law, though, had the audacity to say I was overreacting and that affairs happen, but I shouldn't have aired it out in front of the family. He even defended Megan, saying she made a mistake and we should all move on. I left the barbecue and have been staying with my mom ever since. My husband keeps begging me to come home, and my mother-in-law has been supportive, but my father-in-law is telling the whole family that I'm the one causing drama and blowing things out of proportion. Am I the a-hole for exposing their affair in front of everyone at the barbecue? Should I have kept it private, or was I right to call them out after everything? OP, you're of course not the a-hole. Doesn't matter how or where you did it, you were being cheated on, so exposing them was the right thing to do. You just needed to take your time to process it all, but your father-in-law started to push your buttons. And by the way, your father-in-law, I'm sure he's a cheater. Affairs happen? Yeah, right, they happen because two cheaters want them to happen. Affairs are not a natural occurrence like rain, you idiot. And him defended Megan. She made a mistake. Really? What was the mistake? Consciously sleeping with another woman's husband? And your husband as well. Not a mistake. No. Cheating. So OP, I would get a divorce attorney if I was you. Of course, this is over. Turn off the lights and close the door. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section. And now let's move on to the community comments. BubbleDo08 says, props to you for standing up for yourself and not letting your father-in-law's comments slide. And hey, at least now you know why your husband was always so accommodating to Megan. Genevieve Lexi says, not the a-hole. Your husband and Megan betrayed your trust, and you had every right to express your feelings, especially after being dismissed and disrespected. Your father-in-law's comments were incredibly insensitive, and it's understandable that you reached your breaking point. Noah Vale 2024 says, I bet the father-in-law knew about the affair and was running interference. He went out of his way to effusively praise and support Megan and likely knew the OP had found out about the affair. Even after the OP's outburst, the father-in-law did not change his tune at all. Obviously, the OP should get divorced. And some Razmataz339 says, ask your father-in-law in front of witnesses that if affairs happen all the time, how many times he has effed someone else. Like father, like son after all. OP's edit. Based on what you guys are saying, I and mother-in-law are very close. Should I show her what you guys are saying about father-in-law possibly cheating and see if she wants to look into that? Their marriage has been very rocky and she has been wanting to get out of it, but he has been the breadwinner for years. Also, there are no kids involved. My soon-to-be ex can't have kids. Alright, the community agrees that OP is not the a-hole. She's definitely gonna get a divorce if she refers to him as her soon-to-be ex-husband, and she's probably gonna blow the lid off the father-in-law being a cheater because it's kinda obvious. In any case, OP has given us updates and screenshots from messages she got from Megan and her husband. So let's move on with the updates first. Update 1. After seeing some of the comments about father-in-law maybe wanting to sleep with Megan, I asked mother-in-law if there was something weird going on there or if she knew if he'd cheated before. They have been married for a long time and he's cheated 10 times. One that you guys might find important is he slept with Megan's mother. Maybe that's why he loves her so much. As far as she knows, he didn't sleep with Megan. The other 8 were people he worked with and one of them was an old high school friend. I will also be researching for a lawyer tomorrow morning. Update 2. Mother-in-law told father-in-law to get a DNA test with Megan or she's divorcing him. He said he would try and schedule something tomorrow. I'm very glad I came to Reddit with this, or some stuff we are finding out wouldn't have come to light. If Megan is my future ex-husband's sister, that would be hilarious and would be their problem. Also, mother-in-law is getting a divorce no matter what, but he doesn't know that yet. She just decided an hour ago, yes, I will be helping her with a place to stay and she wants to get into real estate with me, so I'll be trying to pull some strings and help her out in every way I possibly can. She has seen all the comments and with Reddit and my support gave her the strength to leave. It's a painful situation for both of us, but I'm glad we are going through this together so we can have each other's support. When the DNA test results come back, if it for sure happens, she will be cutting off my ex-husband and father-in-law. I also wanted to say that father-in-law was sleeping with Megan's mother for maybe a month or 2. That's why mother-in-law thinks the timelines add up. And yes, father-in-law knew about the affair. That boils my blood. He isn't even a decent enough human to tell me about it. If it was me or mother-in-law cheating, both father-in-law and ex-husband would be very pissed. Some of you asked why he didn't just marry his best friend. At the beginning of me and my ex-husband's relationship, she was in a serious relationship. I'm assuming when he would go and comfort her after they broke up, that's when it started. Alright, so OP is definitely going to go through with a divorce and she's going to do what she can to help her mother-in-law get out of that marriage. Now, I told you guys that OP shared some screenshots, and here's the first one. It comes from OP's husband. I overheard my mom talking about the divorce. Please don't go through with it. We can fix this. I will cut her off. I will never talk to her again. It was a mistake. Come back. Come please. I want to talk things out. You didn't turn your read receipts off. I know you're seeing these. Please answer me. Please, I just found out she might be my half-sister. I don't want anything to do with her. This is a very hard time for me. Please come back. You just don't care about me. You're a terrible person if you don't come back. What if she is my sister? Are you just gonna leave me all alone during this time? OP, please come home. I want to live with you, not her. I'll tell my dad to stop inviting her to family activities. You will never see her again. There you have it, folks. This idiot is freaking out because it could be his half-sister he's been having an affair with. But of course, it was a mistake. Anyways, that's not the only message OP got. She also got messages from Megan. Now let's go check those out. You're a bitch. Who's this? Megan. I can't believe you would tell our whole family about this, and now I have to get a DNA test so I can find out if I've been sleeping with my brother. You made this whole thing so much more drama than it had to be. I see why he cheated on you, and do you know what he would say about you? He said after you two got married, he thought you were disgusting. You are disgusting and a stupid floozy. I hope you really go through with a divorce, then he can be mine. You are a terrible person and a terrible wife. What kind of a wife are you if you won't cook and clean for your husband every day? I know I can treat him better. Okay, so that might be your half-brother, but you would still date him? Do you hear how gross that is? If anyone's disgusting, it's you two and your little family affair. I never cheated on my husband, so don't call me a floozy. And I did everything for him. I cut friends off for him, I cut family off for him, and I did everything he asked. How did he repay me? By cheating on me. You both are gross humans, and I would prefer if you don't contact me anymore. Oh, get over yourself. That is basic wife things. It's sad that he had to ask you to do things instead of you just doing them. You work from home. How hard could it be? You're just a lazy floozy, and I hope you never find love. So, salty Megan is really pissed that she needs to get a DNA test to find out if she's been having an affair with her half-brother, but she still wants OP to go through with the divorce. This is just wild. Now, there's just one final message that OP shared with Megan and her response. OP shared with her the screenshot of the text messages that her husband was sending her and says, "Is this your man? He's lying to you just to make you look dumb and to take him back. Are you dumb? It's so obvious." Whatever you say. Smiley face. Why would he want to actually get back with a lazy floozy like you? You must be delusional. And OP finished this by sending a link on Spotify to the song Sweet Home Alabama. Wow, this whole thing is a huge train wreck, but the good thing is that OP is out of it and she's also pulling her mother-in-law out of it too. So OP, here's wishing you the best in the upcoming divorce. Hopefully your lawyer is awesome and can get this thing settled quickly. And whatever happens between your ex-husband Megan and the father-in-law, who cares? Just make a bundle and throw it in the trash, honestly. Take care, OP, and thanks for sharing. And now let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit True Off My Chest, and it's by user Thoughts in the Void. My fiance spent our wedding fund. I, 29 female, just found out my fiance, 31 male, spent some of our wedding savings on food and other miscellaneous things. We're getting married in 2 weeks, and for the past year, I've been putting extra cash into a box marked wedding fund. He has too, but it's mostly been my money. It had collected about $1,400. This is just a small portion I've been saving for our wedding. I told him I was intending it for trips for the vendors and any other things we may need to pay for. About a month ago, after we had removed and counted all the money, he told me he went and deposited it. I was a bit upset and told him again what it was for. He told me not to worry, we could just take out what we needed when we needed it. It turns out he forgot to put it into his savings and has just been spending it from his checking account, using it on food, gas, and other bits and bobs he wanted. He didn't really think about it until he checked his account the other day and realized what he had done. I am just floored. We have been saving for months and months, and it's mostly been my money going into this wedding, and now I find this out? I don't know what to say or how he can make it up to me. FYI, he has really bad ADHD and an impulsive spending habit, which he has been working on controlling. Just apparently not enough. This is the first time he has spent money that wasn't his. Any advice on moving forward and how to guide him to make better financial choices in the future? I'm not sure how to restore my trust right now. Well, OP, I've got two questions here. The first one is, why would he think it was okay to take the money from there when you had told him what it was for and deposit it? And the second question is, he just noticed that he deposited into the wrong account and has been spending it and just came clean to you? Now, if you guys were in agreement that the money needed to be deposited and he just made a mistake, and an honest mistake, then okay, we could talk about it and maybe we could move forward. But the fact that he just took the money without telling you, deposited and okay, made the mistake and has been spending it, and now that he realized that, he comes clean to you, that makes me uneasy. However, it seems like you want to move forward from this. So the first thing he should do is give back everything that he used and give it back to you. Additionally, you say he's got money spending problems and he should be tackling that head on. Maybe even work with a money manager to learn how to do it. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section. And now let's move on to the community comments. Deleted says, he owes you the money back. Why would you want to marry someone who's gonna spend your money without your permission? I also have severe ADHD with money. I would never disrespect someone else's money or blame it on my mental illness. Not cool. He knew what he was doing and he needs to give it all back in cash. Trick Delivery 4609 says, should be an ex-fiancé. You will not be able to change him. Do you want to spend your life with someone who can't budget and spends uncontrollably? Sounds awful to me. Don't get stuck in the sunken cost of the relationship. You spent X years with him, you are almost getting married, etc. Get out now. And Wenchy Witchy says, this wasn't a mistake or oversight by any means. He made too much effort to be in charge of securing the funds and yet resorted to frivolous or maybe even necessary spending. So regardless of him spending money in his account, he should have the funds to make up the difference, as you have now discovered that he was spending your money. This should give you a cautionary indication of your future life with him regarding financial responsibility. Take heed. So the community was giving OP caution as to whether she should marry her fiancé or not. People say he should put the money back, I agree, and that he shouldn't blame ADHD on this. So now, let's move on to the update to see how this story ends. We had a long talk about how this behavior is unacceptable and he made a plan to pay me back. We also set expectations on finances moving forward. He cancelled any unnecessary subscriptions and purchases and has returned what funds he can. It is the only time he has ever spent money that was not his. Also, I did not find out about this myself. He came to me and told me about his F-up and made an apology and the plan to avoid this in the future. This is a learning experience. It sucks that it had to happen 2 weeks before our wedding, but I can't change it now. All we can do is learn and move forward. I want to be clear on this. He did not blame this on his ADHD. He took full responsibility for this F-up and sincerely apologized. I only added that for additional context. He is on the autism spectrum, has bad ADHD and impulsive spending habit. He was very sheltered growing up and was not raised with the same sense of responsibility with money that I was. When going over the charges, he shared that a portion of the money went towards a surprised gift he wants to give me on the wedding day. I'm hoping it's worth it. He spent the money without thinking to double check he had the funds. I am not going to throw away the thousands of dollars we and our families have put towards this wedding over this. More importantly, I'm not going to throw away a 7-year relationship with the love of my life over this. Thank you to the few people who gave constructive advice on moving forward and financial tips. To everyone else, y'all need to chill. I mainly made this post just to vent. Things aren't always black and white. My fiancé is not an a-hole and he didn't do this vindictively. He made a mistake. Marriage is about working together to solve problems, and we are both ready to make this commitment. Well, OP, given the benefit of the doubt, if it was an honest mistake, then I think him coming clean and you guys putting these steps forward to get over it is a good thing. So here's wishing you guys the best. Take care and thanks for sharing. Now let's finish the video with a mood booster post. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance and it's by user BakedNader. Chicken restaurant, we'll call it Zaxby's, forgot my sauce, then charged me 25 cents each when I went back to get it. Every year, my wife and I put on an Employee Appreciation Day for our small business. I encourage them to bring family and we rent a large pavilion at a local park. Usually ends up being about 50 people. I usually hired it to be catered, but this year I spent more on the rental, location, and less on the food. This idea seemed to be preferred. So I ordered via phone Zaxby's. The order total was nearly $300. I got all the way across town and realized there was only one bag of sauce. There should have been two. So I go back and to my surprise, they decide to charge me 25 cents per sauce. I was missing 16. I explained to the cashier and then again to the assistant manager that I had already paid, but the sauce had been forgotten. They demanded I pay the $4 or kick rocks. So, knowing credit card companies charge a minimum fee to the merchant, I spent the next half hour buying sauce on my credit card, waiting 3 minutes between each transaction so the charges couldn't be merged. One sauce at a time. I got my sauce and cost them way more than the sauce price. Well, OP, this was a perfect story. It's a mixture between malicious compliance, petty revenge, with a big scoop of it was worth it. Thanks for sharing, OP. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.